I've said it many times that I think the most important things adults can do is create positive memories in the minds of children and to help them discover what their gifts are and then help nurture their gifts so they can deliver their gifts to the world. And that's what this program is all about.
ECYP has taught me a lot of things, but it's definitely given me the confidence and the strength to stand up for what's important and to stand up for humanity.
If you look at change that has come about all over the world, it has come through children. I mean, if you just look all around the world, a lot of change has started with people who were under 21.
What I've learned from Congressman Cummings is the need to stand up for people, even when it's not convenient. This program, the Elijah Cummings Youth Program, is a testament to the Congressman's ability to bring together different groups of people for the betterment of woman and mankind.
When I think about one of the lessons that my dad taught me in our 37 years together, it was to genuinely care about people and to genuinely connect with people. And he stressed that those people aren't just folks who look like you or that are your same age. It's all of us. And so when I think about lessons, the program in and of itself is one of those. It's a lesson in perseverance and having an idea, bringing it to fruition, and helping it grow over all of these years. And even as he prepared for what he would call, I think, the midnight of his life, this program meant so much to him. And he made sure that it could continue on. And because of that, he has transferred to me that same level of feeling of importance that this is just something that I've got to be involved in.
Congressman Cummings was completely committed to ECYP. A lot of people have programs that are named after them, and that's really what it is. It's a naming opportunity. But with this program and with Elijah, he didn't see ECYP that way. He was committed actively. He was involved actively. He came to the meetings. He interviewed the kids. He advocated for kids. He was involved with the program in every step of the way. He donated most of his honorariums to the program. This was not a naming opportunity. This was an action opportunity for him.
The Elijah Cummings Youth Program is amazing, not only because of the communication and leadership skills, also because of the people that you can network with. You also get an amazing trip to Israel that will change your life. This program needs to continue on because it's vital to creating leaders for the future. Not only leaders just for our community, but this program could produce the next president, the next senator, the next cancer researcher. This program helps give us skills that will be vital for the rest of our lives that can create a big difference in our community. I know it's impacting me, and I know it impacts so many other kids. So it's important that we keep this legacy going so that kids can become leaders, which will influence other leaders, which will make our whole community blossom.
I was selected as a participant 19 years ago. I joined the board in 2015 and in 2020 became board chair. As the board chair, it is my goal to ensure that the legacy of Congressman Cummings continues.
There are so many stories to tell about Elijah and the ECYP program. I think what stands out most in my mind is every year during the candidate selection process. Elijah took this process seriously. And he reviewed every candidate, and he did his best to make sure that he was participating in the selection process in the most full and transparent way. And so he went above and beyond, even with his congressional calendar and his heavy schedule, to make sure that he was giving every single candidate his due consideration and that he was fully participating in the process. This was true even in the last months of his life. When he was on his sickbed, He was participating, he was focused on the young people, he was making sure that he was sharing his opinion about who he selected, who needed to be selected. That is how seriously he took this program, and that is how strongly he believed in the ECYP program.
Thank you to everyone at the Elijah Cummings Youth Program in Israel for this opportunity to talk about my friend and colleague Elijah Cummings. And thank you for what you do every day to bring communities together. 2020 has been a difficult year for all of us. Losing Elijah was heartbreaking. He and I first met when Elijah was elected to the Maryland House of Delegates. I was Speaker at the time. We both loved our city of Baltimore, where we grew up. We went to the same high school, Baltimore City College High School. We were both balancing our law practices with public service in the Maryland General Assembly. He was Black, I was Jewish, yet we shared a common ground, and we shared a kinship that would endure for decades. This connection is at the heart of what the Elijah Cummings Youth Program is all about. As communities, we have shared history of struggle and challenges. The Jewish community historically has been filled with strong allies in the Black people's struggle for liberation and justice. Elijah knew this. He understood that by lifting up and strengthening our common ground and our common purpose, we would build stronger coalitions that would drive progress for Black Americans as well as Jewish Americans and others. Lift every voice and sing till the earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Lifting up everyone, providing hope and fulfilling potential has been critical for the Baltimore that both Elijah and I grew up in and our city today. Elijah set an example of how hope and determination can overcome obstacles. He had a talent for bringing people together. Love was his weapon to erase despair and block out complacency. Elijah used to say that our children are the living messages we send to a future we will never see. He considered every one of the young men and women who came through the Elijah Cummings Youth Program as his children. Each of you are indeed an important part of his legacy. In his memory, we must continue to forge coalitions and build bridges that celebrate our common humanity and lift up our communities.
I'm Congressman Kwesi Mfume, and I'm honored and privileged to be a part of this fitting tribute and remembrance of Elijah Cummings. None of us knew on the morning of October 17th last year that we would wake up to the news of his passing. The fact that he transitioned just took everyone by shock. The nation mourned, friends and family members grieved, and all of us who knew him really could not believe that it had happened. But it did. And as a result of that, it gave us an opportunity, as it does today, to always look back at the eloquence of Elijah's example and to ask ourselves, how do we emulate it? What do we remember about him? What were the lessons that he taught and left us with? And how many kids along the way, young people, will be forever transformed and changed because of him? His family still grieves, as they should, and our condolences still go out, as they should, to every member of his family. His extended family, his colleagues, his friends, the people he served with, the people he laughed and grew up with, are finding a way to look back every day on how Elijah touched our lives and what it meant to have shared the same space on this earth with him. And the Elijah Cummings Youth Leadership Program in particular should feel especially proud because of all the things that he was concerned with and concerned about. Nothing mattered to him more than this program and the ability to help shape the lives of young people now and going forward. Elijah and I were friends for 42 years. We grew up together politically and got a chance to learn and to grow together. And I would watch him in an office and he would watch me in office, and we became our own group of critiques, one to another and one for another. We spent the last 19 years on the board at Morgan State University as seatmates. And in between that time, Elijah gave us 23 wonderful years of service. So much so that what he left was really a lesson in values and a lesson in beliefs. That's much of which is embodied in his youth leadership program, the things that he cared about, the things that he thought were important, and his overwhelming love for young people. As he would often say, our young people are the messages that we send to a future that many of us will, in fact, never see. Elijah was singularly unique. He took the time to take the towering as well as the tiny, those who had been too often looked over and left out. And he just lifted us up and dusted us off, and always was quick to remind us that we are, in fact, somebody. He led through the simple eloquence of his example, and he knew that we were not a perfect nation, nor were we perfect people. That if we believed in our values, our real values, and the God that guides all of us, that we would, in fact, move closer to creating a perfect society. We're still a long way from that, and Elijah is still with us today, in many respects reminding us why it is so important to keep trying. I can't say enough about what it means to stop and remember him like this, and I congratulate everybody who was a part of it. Of course, Elijah would say, no, you don't have to do that. I'm okay. And yeah, Elijah, you really are okay. Much more than you will ever know. And we are much better because of you, my friend.
Even when I'm dancing with the angels, just to know that I had an opportunity and took advantage of it to help young people emerge with a broader insight, a great appreciation for the Israeli people, I think is all worth it.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had to travel to Israel. The history that Israel carries with it is something that we really can't mirror here in the US. And being in Israel, being in places like Jerusalem, and being able to touch pieces of history, touch things that have been standing for centuries, that means so much to so many different people across so many different faiths, was so powerful and something that I'm going to carry forever.
So when we were in Israel, I met a whole different group of people. I mean, I would have never seen them otherwise. And my favorite part was how they were so different from me, but yet they were really just the same teens. We went through the same drama, had the same, boys scandals and everything. Nothing was really different about us. We just had different accents and we spoke different languages. But if you take away that barrier, we're all just kind of the same.
I came in as a shy and a little naive sophomore and graduated from ECYP with the confidence to speak about issues that were impacting not only young people in the city of Baltimore, but young people around the world. And also with the confidence to know that my voice has power and that I can make a change in my community.
Elijah knew that the end of his life was drawing near, and he left the ECYP program in great hands. But let me tell you, he did more than that. He left a strong legacy. The students that have come through the ECYP program have gone on to become world-renowned news commentators, social entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, Ivy League graduates, and they're prepared for life. He left that program knowing that these young people went through training that helped them to understand how to understand other people's point of view, how to listen carefully, how to present well, certainly how to actually walk through life in a way that's both humble but also focused on the future. The program has great results, with 100% of students graduating from high school and 95% graduating from college. That's fantastic. And now, with the future of our country, and it's certainly so much in question, with many communities in strife, with division separating people across the land, the ECYP program stands as a testament to how you actually build community, how you build unity within community. And it stands as an example for how we actually build the diaspora for time to come.
Congressman Cummings was a dear friend of my family's. When he became the congressman from the 7th Congressional District, there was really a desire to build bridges between the African American community and the Jewish community. So my family was instrumental in starting the Elijah Cummings Youth Program in Israel. African American community and the Jewish community are natural allies. We live next to each other, we've experienced similar things in our existence, and the congressman really was very determined to build bridges between the community so we can work together, advocate together, and strive to make Baltimore a better place together.
Awareness of social injustices in our community is a great first step, but the great thing about this program is that it has actually taught me the skills I can use to tackle these in my community.
Being in this program has allowed me to meet a lot of new people who come from very diverse backgrounds and are passionate about a lot of different things, and to hear about other people's experiences and what they're passionate about has really opened my eyes and given me more to think about and learn about.
As we young people believe so strongly that Black lives matter just as much as anybody else's, we have to understand that we're not the only ones that go through difficulties and problems, that there are other people who are experiencing pain. And I think there's no greater thing that we can do than to help people come together and try to understand each other and appreciate each other, talk to each other, and then become allies against forces of evil.
We're obviously so sad that the congressman is no longer here with us, but his mission of helping the lives of young people and creating the future leaders of his district, of Maryland, and of this nation does not end with him. We need to continue to develop leaders who will go on to do great things and will continue his mission of building bridges between communities.
What an amazing opportunity this has been for Dominique. The opportunity for Dominique to go away to Israel has been absolutely transformative. I only pray that every child will have the opportunity to go through a process whereby they begin to see the world not just based on the block they live in, not even the state they live in, but based on being a global citizen.
Part of our goal is to help with opportunity, to give these young people opportunity that they may not have had without this program. For many of the students, their world was really limited to the 7th Congressional District. To give a young person a passport and send them out into the world creates a vast opportunity to expand their mind and expand their horizons. And we've seen the results of that.
Congressman Cummings wanted this program to be his legacy. It has been proven successful over the past 20 years. To honor the congressman, we will ensure this program continues.
ECYP is so necessary because it works with honestly changing the way people think and making them into better leaders and better people because of that. We look at people and oftentimes we rush to differences, but ECYP pushes us to see how we can be similar, how we can work together in order to achieve the greater good, and how we can use that to make ourselves better leaders for the community at large.
Elijah Cummings has changed my life tremendously. It's funny because I didn't even know exactly who he was when I first applied. And I remember I didn't even want to because I was so shy. And my grandmother was like, just give it a try. And I cannot thank her, my big brother, my father, and Elijah Cummings enough because they have took a Black young man who thought he was nobody and shy, didn't think he was going to do anything in this world, from Baltimore, Maryland, and helped him explore the world, and honestly did a whole lot of firsts for him. First trip out of the country, first trip on a plane, 13 hours. First trip ever on a plane. Wow.
Hello, my name is Danielle Holt, and I am an ECYP alum from the class of 2015. How did Congressman Cummings impact my life? He impacted my life through his program, the Elijah Cummings Youth Program. And just the fact that that program instilled in me as a young adult that I am worthy and I am capable, and it has done that for so many other Baltimore area youth.
Hello, my name is Kamani Kendall. I am an alumni of the ECYP class of 2013. And one of the ways that Congressman Cummings has impacted my life is that he was actually the first to introduce me to a new culture and a new experience. Traveling to Israel was my first time being abroad and also my first time on a plane. So you can imagine some of the nervousness and things that came with it. But no, Congressman Cummings actually was the first to encourage me to, embrace the entire culture with an open heart, open mind, and be respectful and find ways to be leaders, along with my other teammates as well, my classmates. And so, I often look back on the experience of even traveling to Israel and being afforded the opportunity. It's something that I was very blessed with, and even blessed to interact with a man such as Mr. Cummings, because he was such a leader, he was such a profound figure. It was a really great experience.
Congressman Cummings affected my life by allowing me to travel to Israel and to experience a culture that was unlike my own. He also helped me to cultivate leadership skills and to float where the big boats float, a quote that he used very often, which to me meant to evolve and continue to go to bigger and better places. He also helped me to gain amazing friendships that I still hold on to this day, and for that I thank him.
Elijah Cummings, where do I even start? Before we even got to Israel with the whole trip, when we were in the room and I was there with his board and we were all having simple conversations about why I think I should be fit for the program, it was something inside me, mind you, I'm an Aries and I'm very confident in myself, but it was something about that was even inside of me that wasn't reassuring, that he could reassure. And it was almost like after it was over, after the whole conversation was over, me and him were on the elevator, me, him, and my mother, he talked to me and he told me that he kind of could see something within me, and that kind of always made me push further in a sense.
Honestly, I can't think of a way in which he did not touch my life. His presence in itself was a tremendous blessing. I came into ECYP not knowing anything about politics, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to or needed to because I felt like I didn't have representation or anybody to stand on the platforms for which I believed, but I was wrong, because when I met Congressman Elijah Cummings, he showed me that there was always someone there who represented you. He was my representation in more ways than political. He taught me to be courageous and taught me to never back down.
Being a part of this program is something I will never forget and certainly won't stop talking about. Aside from the incredible trip to Israel, we also learned so much about what it means to advocate for the things we believe in and how to do it. It taught me that we as youth of this nation not only matter, but we are the future. These lessons are essential and unfortunately not being taught in many schools today. I cannot thank Congressman Cummings enough and his team for everything that they've done for me, and I'm eternally grateful for the chance to be a part of such a special group of people.
Hello, my name is Kirsten Story. I'm a member of ECYP class of 2013. Mr. Cummings influenced my life by allowing me to be a part of ECYP, in which I gained some valuable leadership skills that I still use to this day, and some lifelong friends. I'm forever grateful to have met Mr. Cummings and for the lessons he taught us, one of which that I remember is go where the big boats are.
Hi, my name is Leo Rao, and I'm an alum from the ECYP class of 2015. I can truly say that Congressman Cummings touched my life in such an extraordinary way. Congressman Cummings was a man who led by example, and from that, I knew what I wanted to do in this life was to be a change agent like him.
Hi, my name is Eric Anderson II, ECYP class of 2017. I'm currently a senior at the University of Michigan, and I'm studying environmental engineering. Congressman Elijah Cummings really impacted my life through ECYP by really providing me an opportunity to travel the world and see it for the first time, really, outside of the US. I also got the chance to make lifelong friendships and also gain leadership experience in public speaking. To this day, I'm thankful to Elijah Cummings, and I really don't know where I'd be without him.
And so to our children, I'm so glad that you had this opportunity. But as I've told you many times, that, a lot of times people think that things happen by accident. I don't believe that. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that you were meant to be a part of this. This was meant to be a part of your destiny. And I thank my board, because my board realizes that the things that we are doing, we mean to touch your future until you die. We may not be here to see the fulfillment of your dreams, but we want to know that we have invested in you. When we think small and we think negativity all the time, when we are approaching people in a way that does not uplift them, then I think it makes us look smaller. And so I want to thank our children for what you have done for us. You don't fully understand it, but you, and again, in the words of my father, you'll understand it by and by. You have allowed us to feed our souls. It makes our board happy to know that we are putting our fingerprints on your lives. It makes us feel good to know that no matter where you go or what you do, you will be touched by the things we did.